Hey, Roadrunner friends and family. Coach Peterson here, Linn-Benton baseball.
My name is Jake Hoskins. I am a shortstop from Hillsboro, Oregon. Went to Liberty High School.
Hi, I'm Jamie Frazier, and I'm in my 27th year as head volleyball coach at Linn-Benton.
Hi, I'm Emily, and I'm a sophomore outside hitter from Hood River, Oregon.
Hi, I'm Jared Gibson. I'm entering my third year here at Linn-Benton as a head women's basketball coach.
Hi, I'm Liz Chavez. I'm a sophomore on the women's basketball team.
Hi, my name is Joe Schomburg. I'm the head men's basketball coach at Linn-Benton Community College. This is my second year as the head coach.
My name is Tyler Muncie, and I'm a freshman on the men's basketball team.
So obviously, it's been a crazy last year with all this COVID stuff.
It's a very challenging year because of the COVID situation.
I really like the feel of this group so far.
Really looking forward to the season.
We're really excited about the guys that we have in our program. Guys have been really stepping up to the plate.
We're really excited to get some games in this year, and hopefully we get to see you guys there.
I'm most excited for this group to have the opportunity to come back together as an entire team.
I think we have a determined and gritty group that's really just itching to get on the floor and compete.
We're trying to do a lot more activities that are not basketball related because it's really hard to build cohesion and a team experience without actually playing games together.
I think tackling this is going to be a great way to help out the program, get the guys some of the stuff they need.
Your donation helps to provide additional meals, upgraded travel, team functions, and treats.
Thank you for your support, and I hope you follow us this season. Go Beaks!
Thank you for supporting us in our program. Go Beaks!
We're staying optimistic as we head into 2021. Go Runners!
Okay, let's get everybody welcomed in here. We are set to go. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Speaking at you right now is Mark Majeski. I'm the athletic director, and we're going to kick this thing off and enjoy our first Beaks Briefing. We've got a great turnout, and we're looking forward to doing this on a regular basis so that you can stay in touch with the Roadrunner programs and hear directly from our coaches and student athletes and special guests that we bring on. So welcome to everybody that's joining us. What you see in front of you is a brief agenda for what we're going to cover tonight, and we're going to this is meant to be casual, informal, but we want to make sure we have a chance to communicate with you, and we want to encourage questions that we will take at the end. But I'm going to talk at you for just a little bit and give you a very brief update on what this fall has been like from a departmental perspective. I'll also share a few highlights from last year with you from our annual report that we generally would produce earlier than this time of the year. Normally it's earlier in the fall, but we got a little bit of a late start with all the craziness going on. And then we're going to hear from our head coaches and some of our student athletes. And in between there, we're going to weave in our very special guest tonight, Dan Segel, a former Roadrunner baseball player from back in the day. And he's now the CEO of the Corvallis Knights, and he's got a great story about LB, and we're especially glad to have him with us. And after we wrap up with our final two programs, we will then open it up to questions from you who are paying attention. We have a live stream going out via Zoom for all of you here, and we're also streaming out to our Facebook page as well. We're going to be able to monitor the chat in the Zoom. It may be more difficult to ask questions via Facebook. So that's the unfortunate situation we have tonight, but we look forward to answering your questions, and we hope that you'll engage with us. Before we jump in, I do want to just get you in the habit of engaging, and we want to find out who's with us. So on your screen right now, if you take just a second, we're going to do this for just about 15 seconds. Let us know who's watching tonight. Which group do you most identify with? And then we'll share the results with everybody. But this will help give us an idea of who is with us tonight on this live stream. And so we've got people voting. I can see it in real time. I don't know that you can, but it's kind of dynamic to see the graph changing as you guys are voting. So we're going to wrap it up in just about 5 seconds. and then I'll share the results with you. And there we go. So you can see we've got a bunch of our student athletes on here. We got some parents and we've got some alums as well, and some true fans out there. So appreciate you doing that. We just wanted to go ahead and get a sense for who was on the broadcast with us. So that's great to see such a large group of our student athletes with us. Let's continue on here with our program. A couple of quick announcements. I want to just remind everybody we have launched our Roadrunner online store with our partner BSN Sports. They've done a great job for us. They're the official supplier of our uniforms, where we get our Nike apparel from. And we have now an online store readily available for everyone. They've got a huge selection of merchandise up there. Through Thursday of this week is the launch sale, 25% off everything using that code there. And so if you want to go visit that store, just go to athletics.linnbenton.edu/store, and that'll take you right there. And happy shopping, some great Christmas presents. And as much as we wanted to simply make merchandise available to our fans and parents and everybody else, we also do benefit from this in the forms of rebates for our own stuff, as for our own teams as well. So we're encouraging everybody to go there as often as you can. Second thing, just want to put a quick shout out to Southpaw's Pizza. They have been a major sponsor of ours, coming on board last year, helping us with some new scoreboards in the gym, and they're continuing to partner with us. And it's a great outfit over there. Visit them often. They've got great takeout for their various menu items, and we hope that you support Southpaw's. They have been a great supporter of Roadrunner Athletics. So enough of the commercials. Let's get into what we're here to talk about. And as I said, my name is Mark Majeski, the athletic director, and this fall, as many of you are aware, has been unlike any other. And as much as we are probably all fatigued from the pandemic and all the related challenges that we've all had to face in our personal lives and our professional lives, everything has been impacted by this, and the word unprecedented is way overused, but there really is no better word to describe what we are living through right now. I've been in this business for a long time, about 30 years, in fact, and I have never seen anything like this that has been so disruptive. I was at Willamette University as the athletic director when the attacks on 9/11 hit, and that was devastating, and people were in shock. We had to cancel football games and all sports that week, but by the following week, even though we were all still grieving and feeling a lot of pain, we were able to get back to normal type activities. That has not been the case with COVID. And I think that I really just wanted to share with everybody that our student athletes have done a phenomenal job of adapting. We know it's been difficult. We know that it's been trying in any number of ways, but what I have witnessed has far exceeded my expectations. Our student athletes have done what's been asked of them. They have been safe. They have been diligent. Our coaches have done a great job managing the programs during these fall workouts, adapting their practice plans and workout strategies to get the most out of the time that we had together. Nobody, I think, has really enjoyed this and would want to repeat this. But for what we're dealing with, our programs, our coaches, our student athletes have just done an amazing job. And I couldn't be more proud of the effort that they've put in. And it has paid off for us. So as you may see on TV, whether it's professional sports or big time Division I's, there's been a lot of challenges with maintaining some football programs and other sports getting through their workouts and seasons. But you also hear about how they're going about it. They are going about it with a testing strategy, testing 2 or 3 or more times a week. At this level, that's not practical. We have adopted the NWAC guidelines, and really it's based on monitoring symptoms, if somebody is feeling ill, but also changing behavior. So a behavior modification strategy has been employed where we've asked people to be safe, do things differently, and that has paid off. we have had this fall a handful of students who have felt ill, and we followed our protocols, and at some point a handful of them have gotten tested and it's come back negative. They were simply ill with something else. We have had a handful of cases, actually a smaller number, where people have tested positive. The good news is none of our positive cases were severely ill. They had mild symptoms or no symptoms at all. And the most encouraging thing from our COVID experience so far has been that we know that the transmission did not take place within the teams or across all of our teams. The people, we could trace back to where they likely contracted the virus and that they brought it into the team environment most likely. But when we tested all of the other team members in those situations, there was no one else that had contracted it via that team transmission. And to me, that simply says what we've been doing works. And that's really important for people to understand, because there are other schools within the NWAC that have not been so fortunate. And we hear anecdotally about different ways that people have been approaching it. We think we've approached it very seriously. And again, that just means that what we've done has paid off. So I want to publicly acknowledge every single one of our student athletes and our coaching staffs, because what we have been doing has paid off, and we hope that we can get through this through the winter and spring and not have to be as restrictive, but we know that we can do it, and that's the good sign. So that's our COVID report, and the coaches may talk a little bit more during their segments about what it's been like for them to run their actual programs. But it's been an amazing operation to watch, and it's been an empty campus. The activity center has really been the hub of all activity on campus, because almost all classes were moved online. With the exception of a few science labs and things like that. But we really were the ones on campus, and we've shown that we can be very responsible. A couple other things I wanted to highlight before we get to the coach reports. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to share some highlights from our annual report from last year. We do this every year because several years ago, when athletics was brought back and we were focusing on the success of what a good athletic program would look like, this was before I arrived, some metrics are put in place. So there was an annual reporting mechanism back to the administration to show them how we were doing relative to what was expected. We've expanded the annual report to really include some more data that we track, and also just share some great things that we do each year. So I just wanted to highlight a few of those things. It all starts with our mission and what we're trying to do here. And as you can see, we seek to support and enrich the overall educational experience for our student athletes. And we want to provide opportunities through competition that are going to inspire commitment, achievement, and community pride. We think athletics is a very powerful vehicle that can unite everyone on campus. And we are focusing on three primary areas: student athlete success, sustainability and growth, and a sense of community as our strategic priorities. And this framework really sets out the work that we do. So when we look at budgeting, when we look at putting together schedules or travel or equipment or facilities needs, it really all comes back to, well, how does it fit within this framework of these things that we feel are important? And it really just sets out a pretty clear path for us. And we believe that this approach is 100% focused on what is best for our student athletes. How do we make sure that they will get the most out of their time at LB? And we have a phenomenal group of coaches that I think believes in this approach, and they buy into it and they live it day in and day out. And the impact that it has on our student athletes has been tremendous. So we're really fortunate, and we really take this seriously. Student athlete success is a very important piece to it. We have academic metrics that we're trying to hit related to retention, related to GPAs, and we track all these things against the general student body. And across the board, student athletes outperform the general student population at LB. That's maybe not a shock to a lot of people, but it really is striking when we look at some of the differences. Our student athletes are doing a phenomenal job. We always look at our athletic results as well, and we've had some honors with all conference players, Coach of the Year honors, things like that. That's all part of what we track. And then we also are looking at what we're doing with regard to programming for student athletes and our staff. This is more the holistic approach to what are we doing for them when we're here. Yes, we want them to succeed academically. We want them to excel and athletically, but we also want them to gain critical life skills that will help them for whatever comes next. And so we put together programming that will help meet those objectives. Our student athlete population is primarily Oregon based. That is not the approach of all community colleges in Oregon or the rest of the NWAC. But when athletics was being discussed here several years ago, there was a strong feeling that recruiting should be primarily local. And I think we all believe that we are a community college. We should seek to serve our local communities first. And this is what this metric is all about. And you can see we have 44% of kids from Linn-Benton or contiguous counties. And that exceeds our benchmark we're supposed to hit. And 86% are from Oregon. And so it really does show that we are committed to finding the best talent locally. And we are really doing a good job with our recruiting efforts there. Academically, over half of our student athletes have a 3.0 GPA or higher. That's over half. And on top of that, more than 20% have a 3.5 GPA or higher. I mean, that is really striking when you stop and think about the academic performance of some of these kids. And we have a number of 4.0 GPA kids as well. But overall, across the board, we are performing exceptionally well in the classroom. So I mentioned some of those things we like to do outside of athletics and academics. We're trying to help them learn, grow as human beings that will, and give them things that will help them as they move forward in life. We've hosted a session on race, society, and athletics. Coach Jared Gibson organized this, and we had a great discussion in the height of the summer when a lot of racial unrest was taking place. We've done things with nutrition and how to get the most out of your sleep habits, as well as a whole mental health awareness issue with both our staff and our student athletes. That is the #1 thing facing college students these days, and we really want to be in tune with the mental health needs of our student athletes. Sustainability and growth, we've restructured our budget. We've got fundraising campaigns going. We've got a golf outing. We've got things that we are initiating here that are meant to make sure we have a stable infrastructure so that we can continue to provide those things that we feel are essential to our student athletes' success. And so all of these things related to raising money, generating revenue, is about providing the best possible experience we can for our student athletes. Mentioned the sense of pride, the sense of community. We have done things, and we are, including this type of an event, live streaming, we are taking it upon ourselves. We need to reach out. If we want people to know about us and to support us, we need to take the initiative and reach out and embrace our communities. And this event is one of those types of examples of what we're trying to do. Trying to increase awareness both on campus and in the local community. We've brought in groups for halftime. We've done an alumni weekend this past winter. We're doing all sorts of these things just to help get our message out, help create that awareness, and make sure that we have an opportunity to celebrate our current student athletes, our successes, as well as embrace our past history and our successes as well. Community service, we got our teams in local elementary schools reading and doing readathon. Men's basketball has spent time at the local soup kitchen serving meals. We're really trying to teach these kids in our program, their student athletes, that there is more to just basketball or baseball or volleyball and school. there is a whole bigger world out here that you need to become a part of. And I think these efforts that the coaches have put forth are really paying big dividends. Community engagement, as I said, there's also things that we did to reach out to make sure we are trying to draw people into our world. We think we've got so many great things going on. We want to share them with everybody. And I think so far our efforts have really paid off. So those are just a few things. I appreciate you listening to me, and I like bragging about our programs because we got so much to celebrate. And we're going to shift gears now, but we've got a couple coaches. And so first up, there I am, so you can see me. I am actually live here, not in the gym. I'm actually in my living room, but you wouldn't know it. But first up, we're going to go through coaches' reports and have the head coaches talk a little bit about what this fall has been like, hit a few highlights, and then they're going to introduce a student athlete to say a few words. And we're going to lead the program off tonight with Jamie Frazier, our women's volleyball coach. So Jamie, are you available to hop on?
I am available. Hi, Mark.
Great. You have the floor.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for taking your time this evening and joining us. I want to thank you, just for your support. And, I didn't get to see the metrics of who was here and joining us, but again, just thank you. Also want to thank Emily Curtis. She's going to talk here in a little bit, and I'm going to introduce her. For joining and just talking about her experience that she's had this fall. So we started, this summer preparing to come in, and like so many, we had our schedule and our routine, shifted several times, and anticipating an August start, we ended up having to start in September. With that, the positives of starting later, this group actually got to ease into a fall schedule that didn't include, lots of travel and many hours of practices and trying to get school going at the same time and kind of learn the ropes of the college routine. They also missed out on a couple 100-degree days that if there's any alumni watching, that I know that, they loved those. So indoor and outdoor, they missed that this year. Having the opportunity to come to campus this fall allowed us to get to know each other and go through the experience together. It's allowed us to set up a routine. We all know that routines are really important, and it's no different for, these student athletes. Right away, we discussed, kind of like Mark said, the experience or the process, just practicing some of our values, such as collective responsibility. We know how important it was to be responsible for our own behaviors and keep ourselves safe so that we kept others safe. Flexibility and adapting to constant change. Resilience and gratitude in the present moment. So, in the end, end of fall term, we knew that just being grateful to be together and utilizing every minute, that was just a real big lesson for us. To walk you through what we did this season or this fall season, we started September 27th in a large athletic group orientation. We discussed a lot of the protocols, essentially just how to get from, here to there, go from the training room to the athletic training room and to the weight room. We just had to be careful about crossing paths with ourselves and then with other teams as well. The team also started at the same time their weights program, which they do 3 times a week with strength coach Jake Forshee. We spent the first 2 weeks outdoors in the sand because we know that, outdoors there's, it's just a lot safer environment. And they played in pods, those groups of 4s, and they got to play a lot of doubles. I know that really enjoyed it. It was a great way to condition for the team. It was a lot of fun. It was actually pretty impressive because it was hot during that time and they were still all wearing their masks. So I know just walking around the sand courts with my mask on, it was difficult for me. So, again, it was really impressive what they did. We moved into the gym for 2 weeks, staying in our pods again. The small group time really just allowed us to, work on some of the, get to know teams and practice related skill, and then, some of those team dynamics and improve ball control. Our final 2 weeks, we were able to practice in larger groups and scrimmage a little bit. I know the team was really looking forward to scrimmaging a lot more, but we did get the opportunity just briefly to come together as a complete team. So it was a lot more than some teams in our region have been able to do. So, we're really appreciative of that. I would say some of the biggest challenges early was keeping players from huddling or grouping. They'd walk into the hallway and, it's just natural for everybody to, be excited to see one another. And, I was constantly just saying, okay, you guys got to stay apart, stay apart as much as you can. So it's almost like we had to unlearn everything that we know about team dynamics and team cohesiveness and all those kinds of things. We want them to come together. So we just had to kind of unlearn that. We also had to be flexible with practice, since several players had class conflicts or needed to adjust because of injuries or go through a COVID protocol. If they were, Mark had mentioned that if they were not feeling well, they had to go through that. So anyway, those were some of the challenges. Off the court, our team was involved in several Zoom meetings, athletic department informational sessions, NWAC fireside chats that the NWAC hosted a few times, and some of our players had the ability, or if they wanted to, go on individually and be a part of that. And then currently they're working out as a team online 3 times a week. They receive workouts and they're competing online, and then just preparing for finals next week. As far as the team, we're looking forward to returning next term and phasing back in small groups in January, and with the hope that we're going to be all together in February practicing. We understand that our season is a moving target, as we speak, but we'll just be, positive and keep focusing on the moment. We currently have 8 returning sophomores and 7 freshmen. Probably, I do believe it's my largest team with an active roster with 15 players on it. The team is made up of all Oregon residents, like Mark said, with 6 somewhat local and 9 from areas such as Portland, Central and Southern Oregon. To highlight our strengths, we have 8 sophomores who show strong leadership qualities. I really like how they've stepped up this year, mentoring. I think the freshmen would say that this has just been a great group of sophomores that have said, hey, if you have questions, come to me and we can help each other out. They're a successful group. They were 13-3 in the Southern Region competition last year. And so, they understand what it takes to be successful in our region. Our offense will be led by 2 returning sophomore setters, Sydney Johnson and Lauren Whitty. The team as a whole is very academically driven. They're an athletic group with depth at each position, and I think that's probably a really good thing in any year, but this year especially. I could go on about each individual. Again, we're going to be pretty strong at the outside position. Again, very athletic. At the middle, we're touching, higher on the net than we have for quite a while. We've got athletic defensive players that I know are going to really, step up when we get this opportunity to play. Just to kind of finish up, I've heard a statement many times, and it goes like this: on the other side of adversity. And then you can add what you want, but on the other side of adversity is change. And I believe that holds very true right now. Who do we want to be on the other side of this? And I talked to my team about that. Time's going to pass. What are we going to do at this time right now? We'll continue to place our focus on growth mindset, individual effort, collective responsibility, and gratitude no matter what comes our way in 2021. And hopefully we'll come out of it more resilient and positively changed. So with that.
Great. Why don't you invite Emily on, and Jamie, you stay on as well, and just hear briefly from Emily.
Hi.
Emily, go ahead and introduce yourself and just what position you play, and what your degree is, and and just talk a little bit about you as a student athlete and your experience going through this fall.
Okay. My name's Emily. I graduated from Hood River Valley High School. I'm a sophomore and I'm an outside hitter. My major is engineering. I would say the biggest challenge for a lot of the girls on the team, especially the sophomores, because we were in pods for the first couple of weeks, we couldn't really bond with a lot of the freshmen. I knew a lot of their names and their positions, but besides that, I was always on a different court, not playing with them. So that was hard because last year I was with the same girls every day since August for 4 months. So that was kind of a challenge, and not being able to do like team dinners and activities outside of volleyball that we did a lot of last year. We couldn't go on a hike or anything this year, but hopefully maybe if we have some time later on, we can. Another thing that was hard for me personally was I get little sicknesses here and now, like sinus infections. I got 2 cats this year and I'm allergic to cats. My fault, but I got a sinus infection and then I had to sit out for 3 days, which normally I wouldn't have to do if COVID wasn't happening. So that was hard to deal with. And I know a couple other girls on the team also had to deal with that. Sitting out is never fun. So that's been a struggle.
What are you looking forward to most when we come back in January?
I'm looking forward to just being able to play. It was weird not playing this fall. I'm so used to having volleyball every September, and it was really weird not having that. And also, I know for us volleyball players, since we are a fall sport, I don't want to say we get away with not having to have grades yet, but we come in with a clean slate and are just able to play. And so because now we're in the winter, we really had to make sure we all passed our classes in the fall, which I think we're all going to be fine. So that's good.
Okay, good.
All right, great. Well, thank you, Emily. Appreciate you sharing your thoughts and being very candid. I think that's the reality, what you guys had to deal with. So Jamie Frazier and Emily Curtis, thanks so much. We appreciate the volleyball update. We're going to keep rolling. Andy, baseball is a program that so far has got a double whammy. Last spring you had to deal with this, and now we're still going through it. So Andy Peterson, please share with us.
Yeah, thanks, Mark, for putting this on. Not going to talk too much about the COVID stuff. I'm pretty done talking about that, but we'll jump right into it. I guess best way to put it is I'm bored already. I cannot wait to get back in January already and defend our back-to-back titles. It's fun to say. First thing I wanted to point out kind of about our squad, about our team, is I'm genuinely excited every day to show up to the yard. You know, I can't wait to get out of the office, can't wait to leave the house. It's I'd say not too many jobs you get to do that, to where you're actually, you know, looking forward to your day of work. That's a testament of our guys and the type of guys we have, and, you know, very, very thankful for them. People always ask, high school coaches, all that, they always ask what you look for when you're recruiting. I'm in my 3rd year, and I think the first year it was kind of talent. Let's get the best players. That's what we're going for. I think the second year after that first year it was, all right, I need guys with good grades. You know, I don't want to deal with that anymore. And I think now it's to the point that we're looking for guys that us coaches want to hang out with for 2 years. Is the best way to put it. You know, who do we spend every day, all day, weights, practice. You know, we're with them nonstop, and it's who do we genuinely want to be around, and that's why it makes it so fun for me. I think we have the group of guys that it's very enjoyable to be around. I want guys that are good at golf but not better than me, you know, right, Sadio? Hope you're paying attention. Most of all, it's guys of character. You know, you want guys with good character, you know, the whole cliche of on and off the field and all that, but I think as a whole, how our guys work, how they, you know, they're getting extra work in, the way they treat each other. Our super sophomores, our 3rd-year guys have done an unbelievable job for us. I can't be thankful enough for what they're doing, you know. It goes right back to I've met, you know, spoken with a few times, pretty much all the parents on the team, and it makes sense why their kids are good kids. Is where you come from. It's a big deal. So those recruiting trips of talking to parents and the kids, that's really what we're looking for. And I'm very happy with the group of guys we have. As far as the fall, thought it went well. We stayed healthy for the most part. Like I said, the whole COVID thing, we've been good up until right after we left, which was great. I know everybody's feeling good now and healthy, and so I'm very thankful for that. It's been stressful, but try not to think about it as much as we can. As the fall goes, we got to scrimmage a lot, which is great, but you can't win as a coach. It's either the pitchers do well or the hitters do well, or defense isn't good, or pitchers aren't good, or we don't run the bases, or something along those lines. So it's very hard to win, and it's very hard to feel, real good about yourself. I know Coach Gordo and Coach Mike would walk in the door some days and pitchers did really well and hitters didn't do good, and Gordo's got a little more attitude with them and Mike's a little bummed out, kind of a thing. But I can't wait to get back in the spring and get to, give it to somebody else, kind of a thing. So I thought it'd be fun too. Instead of talking about just a bunch of random players, I had all of our guys vote for a couple fall awards. So I'm going to go through those real quick. We have MVP, Pitcher of the Year, Hitter of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Team Captain, and Most Improved. So I had everyone vote for one person. So 4 of these categories were all pretty, I'd say, obvious. Everyone kind of feels the same way about these guys, and a couple of them were pretty cool as a coach that I'll explain here in a second. But MVP, we had Emiliano Alarcon. I think it's pretty obvious. It was pretty unanimous. He's just the perfect child, kind of a thing. It's kind of the same thing. Like I just said, I've met his parents and they're just the best people in the world, and it makes too much sense. He's the hardest worker. He plays multiple positions, great teammate, loves what he does, all that. So Millie, keep it up. Pitcher of the Year, we had a 2-way tie, believe it or not. I'm not making this up. We have 35 guys and somehow there's a tie. And it was Kenji Lambden and Taylor Ott. Kenji is a COVID freshman from Grant High School, and Taylor is a super sophomore from Tigard High School. Very excited to see what both of them bring this spring. It's been fun to see them grow and develop and get better, and excited to see them put it all together. Hitter of the Year, or of the fall, excuse me, Ruben Cedillo. Makes sense. I think all our pitchers are scared to face him, and I think a lot of pitchers in our league are going to be very scared to face him. So excited to see what Ruben's got. Rookie of the Year, this one was also a no-brainer. He got 26 of the 35 votes. Jake Hoskins for Liberty High School. He's an infielder, plays outfield as well. Hit about, like I said, about 600 this fall, something like that. I'm real excited to see where his baseball career takes him. So these last 2, Captain and Most Improved, it's pretty fun to see. I think the other 4 awards were pretty unanimous, and it's all stuff that you can see on the field and you can watch guys and you can tell if they're a good hitter, a good pitcher, or something like that. But the captain one, we actually had 12 different players voted for captain, which as a coach is a very, very, very cool thing to see. We try to talk about have a team of leaders, have that whole thing. One of my favorite sayings is great players make everyone else around them better, which is pretty neat to see 12 different guys get voted for. But it was also a tie between Henry Whipkey and Ian McIntyre. And same thing, I think everyone on the team can agree with the both of them. They're both super sophomores. They've been here. They work their tail off. They're great with the guys. And it's all the stuff that, and what attributes to them is stuff that we don't see. It's the stuff off the field. It's having guys over the house for dinner who had a bad day. It's talking to guys about classes. It's, so for the both of you, you're going to have very, very bright futures, whether it's baseball or not, just on that manner. And then we have, last one is Most Improved for the fall was Dawson Evanson, left-handed pitcher from Clatskanie, Oregon. Clatskanie, hope I said that right, Dawson. And kind of in the same boat, there were 11 guys voted for the Most Improved, which is pretty cool for me, like I said, as a coach, to see that that all the players are, somewhat thinking in the same boat as us. We have that many guys getting better, and we have that many captains. I think that's the making a pretty good team. But yeah, so there's our awards. I'm excited for the guys. Like I said, I don't want to talk too much about the whole COVID thing, but we're going to have Boone Rush jump on, and he's going to talk about himself here for a second. Boone, what do you got?
Great. Go ahead. Stay on with them, Andy.
Oh, I will.
Hey, my name is Boone Rush. I'm a left-handed pitcher. I'm a redshirt freshman this year, but it's my second year. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I went to Grant High School. This fall was pretty weird. I was coming back from my second hip surgery, so I was very limited in what I was able to do. But we got a great group of guys here that just got after it every day in weights and practice. And it's kind of weird working out in like two different groups, practicing in two different groups. Wearing masks when you're working out isn't very fun. But everyone just worked really hard, and I'm really excited for season, honestly.
Boone, what do you think was the best thing that happened this fall? What was your favorite part of this fall?
Halloween was pretty fun.
That was going to be my second question. Did you want to? So Boone and Kenji were they won our Halloween costume contest somehow. Did you want to share what you were? You want to pass on that, or
you can do it, PD?
I'm good. Boone won our Halloween costume contest. Congrats, Boone. Oh boy.
Maybe leave it at that. Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very fun.
All right. Well, great. Well, terrific. Well, let's keep it rolling. But Boone, Coach Petey, thanks for taking time out and giving us an update on baseball. So you guys can sign off there with your cameras. And Dan, I'm going to get you ready to jump on and join us. As I mentioned, really our featured guest tonight is Dan Segel, former Roadrunner baseball player. There we go. He's representing, so we appreciate that. But Dan is also currently the CEO of the Corvallis Knights. He's got a great story, and just one of our biggest supporters, loves LB. He's on the LBCC Foundation board, but he has been instrumental in what has happened with, I think, the entire athletics program at LB, and in particular baseball. So Dan, really appreciate you joining us. And I just want to give you a chance to speak to everybody and share a little bit about you. So thanks for joining us.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Mark. First, I'd like to say great job, Mark, and good to see Jamie. Great job, Jamie, as usual. One of the best in the business, and obviously outstanding work, Petey. The haircut, I love the haircut, Petey. It looks good. And love to hear from Boone Rush. I actually was one of his Little League coaches back in the day. I live in Northeast Portland. I think Boone's up in the hood right now. So it was good to see Boone, and that flow you got going, Boone, is pretty sweet. So good to hear from another Grant guy. I have 3 boys myself. 2 of them attend the Grant High School. So anyway, Mark asked me to join this Zoom call today and just give a little background on myself and my experience at Linn-Benton in preparation for this call. He asked, maybe share, when and why you attended, what the experience did for you, what you've been doing since leaving LB, and then maybe deliver a few messages to the student athletes. And I'll rip through this stuff. Again, thanks for having me. I attended Linn-Benton Community College in 1985 and 1986. It was sort of a failed forward move in that, I blew it my freshman year at University of Washington. I was a baseball player there. I grew up in, I would say, rural Washington County on a dirt road, and went to play ball at UW. And my freshman year in Seattle, Washington was pretty wild. I'd never been to a big city like that, and didn't have the focus that I needed or the maturity. And after my freshman baseball season, I didn't make grades. So I failed forward to Linn-Benton Community College. And that was just a tremendous opportunity for me. It's kind of a second chance. So that's my story on why I attended this school. it was a landing spot. I genuinely failed forward. And then as far as the experience, what it did for me, one, it was so much fun playing ball in the fall and spring. Never had more fun. Made friends. I stay in touch with many of them to this day. At the end of the day, it was about development for me. Linn-Benton got me back on track in terms of academics. It was what I'd call an intimate environment. The athletic director was great, Dick McLean. My teachers were outstanding, and I grew up a little bit. Got my associates, and it was a pathway back to a 4-year school, and I got a scholarship, and I thank Linn-Benton tremendously for the opportunity. What have I been doing since? I think, I'd say I've been learning, growing, and learning some more. Try to stay open-minded and just committed to learning, but getting after it. Since my days in college, for me, it's about getting after it. It's about striving for competitive greatness and, making my communities better. I ran small businesses for the last 25 years. Business is very competitive. You student athletes, if you want to get into that arena, you'll be real well prepped with your athletic background. Currently, I'm the CEO of Knights Baseball Club, which operates the Corvallis Knights, the West Coast Collegiate League, operates the Oregon All-Star Series over at Goss Stadium, and we also run the Northwest Baseball Coaches Convention every January. Blessed to be in the business, kind of lucked into the baseball business. Been doing the Corvallis Knights thing since we relocated down here. So that's a little background, but really what I get excited about is, talking to student athletes, and appreciate you guys and your commitment. It's not easy, a lot of time management, but I tell you, you guys are our future leaders. You understand failure. I just applaud you guys for everything you do. Mark had asked me if I did have any messages for you guys, and I do. I think number one, enjoy this time at LB to the fullest. It'll be wonderful memories, time of your life. Secondly, put team first. That's actually number one, put team first. And then always make it about others. If you do that, good things will happen. Be grateful. Love each other. It's a team sport. Love your teammates, love your coaches. Love goes a long ways. Take initiative. Initiative's huge. It's a separator. If you don't understand that word initiative, look it up in the dictionary. It's worth understanding. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I'm sure your coaches talk to you about that, but the true sign of a competitor is someone that can do that. It's not always going to go your way. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Play on the edge. The best players do that. Get out of your comfort zone because nothing blossoms there. So push yourself to the edge. Get out of that comfort zone. All taking in competition. Don't give an inch. And then all giving off the field or the court. That's where you do all the giving when you're competing. Bear down. Don't give an inch. And then lastly, I think I would say to all you student athletes and coaches and leaders that you got to bring the energy. You got to bring it every day, the best of your ability. Bring the energy because that's a difference maker. And you are accountable for your energy, attitude, and effort. That's your responsibility. So it's nobody else's. It's not your coaches. It's not your parents. You truly are accountable. You're responsible. So Linn-Benton's a great place to start taking account for yourself. Make sure you show up, show up at the classroom, show up in competition, and good things will happen. Thank your coaches. Thank Mark. They do an outstanding job. They're building something really special, and I'm proud to be a little part of it. And as an alum, I love to see the progress, and I really identify with all you guys because, this is a great springboard to something special from your next school to your career. You guys all do a great job. And again, Mark, thanks for having me. And
Absolutely.
If you have any questions, feel free to ask now. And then also my email is dan.segel@corvallisknights.com. If you want a list of those key messages, I'll send them to you. And if you ever need anything, shoot me an email.
Great. Well, Dan, really appreciate you taking time. We kind of, are jam-packed tonight, and we ask you to say a whole lot in a short period of time, and you did a great job. But we will share your contact information. And I would say to everybody, I think, Dan's not a stranger. You'll see him around. He will be involved again. You'll have a chance to talk to him, but we'll make sure that you have his contact information. We know that while last summer really didn't happen for the Knights, right? You're hopeful about this summer, and I know that you hire a lot of interns, and there's opportunities for student athletes to get involved and get some real world practical experience. And so we have your contact information that we can provide to them as well. But thanks again so much, Dan. And this is one thing that we need to do more of. We need to recognize our great history that we have. We've got great alums out there that have done great things. We need to celebrate our history more, and we need to bring more people back like Dan and reconnect with our program, because like Dan said, he can see what's happening now. He can identify with what you all are going through. There's just so many opportunities for us to do this, and Dan's the one that's going to kick it off for us. So we appreciate you taking time again to do that.
You're welcome. And by the way, Petey can really play some golf. He's a pretty good golfer. So I just want to throw that out there.
Well, he's a legend in his own mind. I know
yes,
that.
He is.
So
anyway, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dan. Appreciate it. And now, Coach Joe, we are going to have you hop on next. We got men's basketball. Let's hear a brief report from men's basketball. Oh, you shaved. My goodness.
Hope everybody's doing well tonight. For all you student athletes that are listening, just listen to Dan talk, and the stuff he was saying is just nails. It's money. I can't encourage you enough to follow his advice. That was great stuff. Dan, thanks for sharing all of that stuff if you're still with us. But you student athletes, especially if you want to work in sports, like he was hammering all the good points. So really, really good stuff. Lucky to follow him. For men's basketball this year, one of the things that when we set out is, rather than trying to create a sense of normalcy in a year that's totally not normal, we just basically went with, all right, it's not normal. We're just going to embrace the different, embrace the adversity, not even try to create a sense of normalcy. We're going to do things differently and see how it goes. The first part of that was just like how we're going to structure practices. And the way we wanted to do it was just to really, really focus on individual skill development and treat it as a year where guys can really work on their academics and not feel the pressure of having to play games in the fall, and also work on developing their skill so that they can become better players. We sort of threw out the window any kind of team offensive stuff, any kind of complexity at all. We just tossed it out the window and just really, really bore down on just individual skill work. We also made it so that guys who were not local had an option to live at home and save money. I really wanted to be cognizant of people's financial struggles and financial situations. And if there was a way for their family to save a little bit of money by staying home, we would post workouts for them and trust them and trust that they would get their work done on their own. And I think that worked out really well. We had a great group of guys who showed up regularly, a real good core. And then we had guys who stayed home and were able to save some money and work out on their own. We're learning a new software, Slack, thanks to Coach Gibby and Coach Robin on the women's side, kind of taught it to us. We've been really using that to stay in touch with guys that aren't around. Not the easiest thing, totally different, totally uncomfortable for me as a coach, not having all the guys around. But I think it's been pretty good. We're really hoping that we're going to get to play a little bit here in the winter and spring terms and get everybody down and actually see what we look like on the court. One of the big things for me was to try to grow as a coach and understand each individual student athlete's particular circumstances and be able to cater to what each individual needed. And so that was challenging, but it was also fun. I think it was a way to have some perspective on what we're doing as coaches and really focus on the development of the young man rather than the development of just a basketball player. And that goes well with our mission here at the school as well. Another thing we did was we sent kids home a week early from workouts. We could have worked all the way up until about Thanksgiving. And instead of doing that, we decided to send our guys home a week early to just ensure that they could be home with their families and that nobody would, have the unfortunate situation of having a quarantine down in Albany or Corvallis and not be able to be home for Thanksgiving. And that's tough as a coach. You always want to practice as much as you can, but this is something with the perspective that the COVID situation has allowed us to gain, that, it's more important for them to be home with their families sometimes than it is to be in the gym practicing. And so we embraced that. I think we'll have Tyler on here in a little bit, and he was able to get home and see his little brother play state playoff football, which this may be the last time he gets to see that if we get to play, like normal schedules as usual. The other thing that we really focused on was that we didn't try to assume that, hey, we're going to definitely play games later, so we got to get ready for games. We said, hey, we hope to play games. We'll be ready if they let us. But if not, we'll really work hard to follow this protocol as best we can so that we can have one more day of practice, one more day to improve, and really took it day by day. And we only had about 6 weeks of material worth to teach, figuring that at some point in the 8 or 9 weeks that we had to teach it, we would get shut down on some level because of COVID. And so we didn't try to do too much. And when we got to the point where we realized that we had gotten what we wanted to get in, we got the fundamentals of the defense in, and guys had a lot of opportunity to be in the gym and work on their skills. We just said, hey, enough's enough. We got this covered. And that's what allowed us to send guys home a little bit early. Very, very tough as a coach to let go of a lot of these things. But it's actually been enlightening, and it's been actually pretty cool to try to teach a little bit differently. Going forward, one of the things that we're looking to do, we have a little bit of a different team this year. We're a little bit more big and physical, not quite as fast and quick. So we're going to play a little bit differently on offense. But we still want to stress the idea that this is about skill development this year, and rather than running anything complex. So we're really going to just keep buckling down to simple things and simple fundamental things that even if we don't get to play this year, there will still be valuable things that we can take forward with us as a team for next year, and also as individuals and their growth as players. So that's been one of the things that's been good for us. So I want to introduce Tyler now. Tyler Muncie's out of Twin Falls, Idaho, and he came to us a very lucky situation that he was able to come for us. He was originally supposed to go to Tacoma, and some things happened up there, and we were able to have him and actually another of his high school teammates, a kid named Casper Block, both came to play for us this year. And Tyler's just been awesome. He's just been a stud, totally reliable, the type of person that just really has represented our program well. Can't wait to play with him on the court, and can't wait to see what he ends up being able to do as a college ball player. So let me kick it over to you, Tyler, and why don't you share from a player's perspective some of the things we've been doing and some of your experience here.
Season, it hasn't been like what anybody thought it would be.
Yeah. Hey, Tyler, your microphone's not working. Are you able to maybe abandon the headphones, turn them off, and just go with your mic on the...
Can everyone hear me now?
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, perfect. So as I was saying, coming into this year, no one really could have imagined what it would all be like. It definitely wasn't what I thought it would be like, but I thought we did a really good job of managing everything as far as coronavirus goes. Coach he had a really good system set up just by keeping us all separated and keeping us in pods. When we were able to work out, we were in pods and we were separated the whole time. And then when we were finally able to get in the gym and actually be able to hoop, we were all separated, one guy to each basket, and we had to disinfect all the basketballs we were using. So props to coach as far as that goes, and being proactive in helping us not get the virus. One of the parts that I've liked about this whole experience is working out with Coach Jake. He's been able to help me a ton as far as my athleticism goes, my speed goes. Coming back here to Idaho, they got different restrictions as far as Oregon goes, so I'm able to play pickup down here, and I can feel myself being way more faster, way more athletic in the game. So that's awesome. Another thing about Coach, he's been honest about our school. He said, since we're not able to practice and do all these other things that are time consuming, you got to put all your effort into schoolwork. So we were able to get our schoolwork done, and Coach has been super good about checking in with us as far as our grades go. We've had like grade checks, and he'll text us personally and ask how we're doing as far as our grades go. So school's been going well. And another thing, I spent 3 months up in Corvallis away from home, and Coach would be the first to tell you that that's good as far as like being a freshman goes. You got to get away from home. You got to grow up, got to do things on your own. And I enjoyed that process. Coach, he helped me and my other 2 roommates through that process because all 3 of us were freshmen. And he took us to go do different things, so we weren't locked up in the house all the time. I know he took me deep sea fishing, caught a couple fish, and that was a good experience. I'd never done that off the Oregon coast before, so had to bring in a few rockfish and a nice lean cod. So it was worth the Dramamine I had to take. But yeah, that's I'm excited to come back. Hopefully we get our season going. Like I said, I'm a ball player and I just want to play. And I know Coach is the same way, but yeah, that's all I got as far as that goes.
That's great, Tyler. Really appreciate the words. We want to leave everybody with sort of some happy holiday wishes. Hope everybody's. I got a little one here. My little assistant coach, who's been with us at every practice. This is something different too. Normally, can't bring my daughter with me to practice, but since mom's working from home and childcare hasn't been able to be open all the time, little Anita comes with me to practice every day. But we really just want to wish everybody happy holidays. Spend the time with your family. Make sure you don't take the little things for granted, because we really got it pretty lucky here. You know, we definitely want to remind everybody not to take the little things for granted, and wish everybody happy holidays.
Great, that's awesome, you guys, and that's my buddy Nita. Hi, Nita.
Hi.
Hey, we'll see you soon. All right. Well, thanks for the men's basketball update, guys. And Coach Jared, you're going to be up next. So Tyler, Joe, thanks for joining us. And Coach Jared, women's basketball.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate everybody being on here. I might take a little bit of a different approach. I think we've all kind of been in the same boat throughout the fall in terms of our protocols that we've had to follow. And so I'm going to rewind a little bit and talk about some of the stuff that we did last spring and over the summer. But before I get into that stuff, I just want to take a minute and acknowledge our Mark and our athletics administration, which includes Russell, our athletic trainer, and even Jake Forshee. Everybody was really, we did a really good job this fall in terms of managing and sending the message just as a collective group, from the administration down to the coaching staff and throughout our teams. And our kids did a really good job of really just following along with what we asked them to do to be as safe as we can. And it paid dividends because we were able to get through the majority of the fall and get some work in. So I just wanted to acknowledge Mark especially, and Russell Yap, our athletic trainer, was a huge part of that. Next, I want to recognize my two assistant coaches, Robin Andrea and Leslie Reinecker. I'm really fortunate to have both of them involved in our program. Robin's been with me here since day one when I got hired, and this is Leslie's second year with us. Both of them bring a ton of experience. I lean on them heavily, and they're really the backbone of our program, and I couldn't do it without them. And, you know, ever since last spring, not only us as coaches, but if there's parents on here, you know, all of our student athletes, our administration, we're all, we all have had to challenge ourselves just to adjust daily, to just kind of living in the gray because we just don't know what's coming next. You know, none of us have ever had to deal with this before, and we've just had to adapt and adjust and structure for us, structure our learning and our development within our programs. You know, and for me, having people like Robin and Leslie have been instrumental in helping me just kind of navigate through these times here. So I just wanted to make sure that I acknowledge them and recognize them. I feel really good about what we've done here in the short term. This is just going on my third year here at LB, but feel really good with how we adapted and kind of pivoted last year when the pandemic hit. Just with keeping our kids engaged. You know, the whole Zoom thing was something that was very new to me. And I think we've done a pretty good job of using that to our advantage in terms of keeping our kids engaged and, you know, whether that be team activities. And it allowed us in the spring and the summer to just see everybody and talk with everybody. It gave our new incoming kids, which we have a lot of, a chance to see each other and talk to each other a little bit sooner than, you know, than what is normal. You know, for us, we would be getting together in September for the first time, and we had an opportunity to get together prior to that. You know, even over, just because it was over Zoom, didn't, you know, we were still able to get together and just get to know each other a little bit. We brought in one of the things that we thought was important in the spring is we brought in a handful of guest speakers to talk with our group that I thought was very valuable. We had Sally Clavel come in, who's a pro personnel analyst with the San Francisco 49ers. She talked to our kids about determination, you know, what's your why, being goal driven. And I thought that was really powerful for our kids. We also had Lori Milligan. Some of you might know the name. She's a Tigard High School grad that went on and played for Pat Summitt at Tennessee. She won 3 national championships, and she spoke to our kids about mentality and toughness and pursuing excellence every day. And we also had a couple others, Mandy Tyler, who's a sports nutritionist that works in the San Antonio Spurs organization. She talked about nutrition with our girls, and Angela Beadle, who played for Coach Reinecker at Sam Houston State, who's still playing professionally, and gave kind of her background and experience and what she was able to do while playing over in Turkey and Belgium and Poland and Romania, and I believe she's still playing in Australia right now. So those are some of the things that we've done just to try to keep our kids engaged. They've done an unbelievable job this fall. You know, I'm really excited about this group. We're preparing like we're going to have a season, and I think we have a group that can build off the success that we had last year, off of a team that won 20 games. And I think we have a group that can really build on that. We really have a completely new group. We have 3 returning sophomores from last year. And I think what I'll do here is also a little bit different. I'm going to let Maddie introduce herself. Maddie Myers is representing women's basketball tonight. So I think I'll have her come on and introduce herself and talk a little bit. And then I'll run down briefly kind of what our roster looks like after she's done speaking, if Mark, if you're okay with that.
Sounds good. Let's get Maddie on.
Okay. Maddie, are you there?
Yeah.
Thanks, Maddie. I'll let you take it from here and then I'll jump in afterwards.
Okay. So hi, I'm Maddie Myers, and I'm a sophomore here at Linn-Benton from Malala High School. And I'm currently dual enrolled with LB and OSU, pursuing a degree in kinesiology. And the dual enrollment program was a big reason why I chose Linn-Benton, because it's allowed me to have an easy transition into the university to earn my 4-year degree. And as far as this season goes, it's definitely been an adjustment in comparison to last season for pretty much the same reasons that the other student athletes spoke on. But I'm just looking forward to the opportunity to be able to compete. And I'm excited with the group that we have, and honestly, how well we work together despite having such limited amount of time around each other. And just being able to go to practice and potentially play has been worth taking the precautions that we have.
Awesome. Thanks, Maddie.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. So with Maddie, so Maddie is one of our 3 returning sophomores that we have. And Maddie has done an unbelievable job over the spring and the summer of really working to get herself into shape. I think she dealt with some injuries last year that limited some of her opportunities to play. And I think she left in the spring really motivated, and you can really tell that she's been determined over the spring and the summer and throughout the fall in terms of getting back and having a chance to compete. Along with Maddie, the other 2 returners that we have, both started for us last year. Liz Chavez was a guard for us last year that averaged 13 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals a game. We're looking for big things out of her again this year. And Allison is, as a freshman last year, led the entire NWAC with 91 blocks as a freshman, and really kind of anchors our defense. The rest of our roster are all brand new. We do have a couple of we have at least 1 sophomore transfer at the guard spot. Megan Miller is a local kid from Lebanon High School. She transferred to us from Linfield to continue her nursing degree. She's got an unbelievable work ethic. She's as tough as they come, and has done a really good job of leading by example. A couple other guards that we have, newcomers. Grace Gaither is a skilled guard from Grants Pass. That's a playmaker and can really shoot it. And Haley O'Brien is a well-rounded guard from Astoria High School, who's a freshman for us as well. To go along with Maddie at the wings, we have Aaliyah Seibel from Yamhill Carlton High School, who's a freshman. Another freshman, Katie Ensign from North Marion High School. Abby Martin from Ridgeview High School in Redmond, and Blake Barbie is a freshman from South Albany High School. The thing that I like about our wing group this year is that I think we have a chance to be pretty dynamic in that area. We're long. That group is all about 5'9" or taller and a little bit more athletic than what we've been in the past. So I'm really looking forward to that wing group. And then we also added some size and skill with our frontline players as well this year. Brooklyn Hankwitz from Astoria is a really skilled 6-foot frontline player for us. That's really mobile and really versatile, and we can move around a little bit. Halo Parks is another 6-footer that we've got, who's really skilled for her size, and she's our only kid that's not an Oregon resident. She's from Todd Beamer High School in Tacoma, Washington. And last but not least, we have Oakley West, who's an athletic forward from Burns High School. So really just really excited about our group. I really like the feel of this group. Maddie touched on it a little bit, but I feel like we have a group that's hungry and that really wants to have the opportunity to compete, and hopefully we get that chance. They're working at it daily to make sure that they're ready to play when we get the okay to do so. So that's it for women's basketball. Thanks
Great.
again, Matt. Thanks again, Maddie.
Yeah, thanks. You guys hold on, stay on camera here, and I'm hoping that everybody that has spoken tonight is still with us, because I'd love everybody just to hop on camera so we could all say thank you to everybody, and then say good night and happy holidays, that sort of thing. So if you presented tonight, yeah, please pop on. Let's see the whole screen full of all of these great people. I just want to say thank you to all of you, those that were attending and watching, but especially to everybody that spoke. I thought everybody did a great job. This is something that I think is important for us to do. We will do one of these each month, so we will be coming out with one in January that we will notify people about. But we want everyone to hear from our coaches, from our student athletes, from an alum, what their experience was like. This is really special to me to see this, and I think when Dan said that, what he can see is that we are building something here, I couldn't be more in agreement. That is what we're trying to do. And the group of coaches we have now is unbelievable. I told you, I've been doing this a long time. We've got 4 head coaches, and then their assistant coaches. They get it. They know why we're doing this. They know what we should be doing for our student athletes, and they come to work and bring it every day, to steal something else from Dan. I mean, they bring it and they get after it. And so again, thank you to all of our head coaches. Thank you to our student athletes that spoke tonight. And thanks to all of our other student athletes who were listening too. Again, a big thank you for the great job you did this fall. We hope things will improve this winter. We know we're going to have to do some more of the same, but we've proven we can do it, and we can do it safely. And we just want to get ready to go. There's my friend Nita again. Hi, Nita. All right. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate it. We'll let everybody go now. Have a great holiday, and we'll see you in January.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.